I would like to start, first of all, again, thank you, because this community allowed us to start DAISY project. And on daily basis, we feel the pleasure of doing this amazing thing of superintelligence for fintech. And every day we see additional layers that we can kind of contribute both to the fintech, to economy, to all the elements that we wanted to do. So again, thank you for enabling us to start this project. White paper side, we're done. We put it into production. So by Monday, we should have it ready and distributed, and you will be able to read it. Again, welcome all the feedbacks, comments, because we are interested to hear specifically from the universities. We get lots of communication with universities on this project. So whatever professional feedback you want to send us, please feel free to communicate with us. Now, I'd like to start with short sharing of the results. Okay, so our testing account on DAISY. Right now, I'm always doing the snapshot half an hour before the meeting. So half an hour before the meeting, we were at 17% profit. Started with 25 million, as you know, crossed 30. If you were following it during the week, you saw that we even reached 19%. And now we at these levels. So again, on the smaller contributions, you will see percentages and numbers that a little bit less than 17 in some cases more, because you entered and the conversion side were either profitable or losing for that specific period. So right now we're at 17. I want to show you a few trades that we did. So for example, we have an algorithm called Bitcoin trend short term. So this short term tries to reach trends that are not going for the 60% or 70% trend, but going for the smaller trend. So here you see the example of very nice entry at the beginning of the trend, exit at the end of the short trend. My apologies. This is the first example. So as you see, we already exited some of the trades. Then another one was swing midterm. Swing means that when you are within the band, you're doing entry and exit. You're not trying to get into the trend itself. You're doing it outside the trend. So here you can see that, again, it's very nice entry and exit for the swing, right? Because after that, you see the clear trend, and then trend algorithm get into this story. And of course, we have a midterm trend that started at 33, and it's still in the position, okay? So this is just examples of how things work. We have total 4 BTC systems running. And I want to bring it back to the DAISY story, because as you see, these systems are based on optimization through artificial intelligence, but they're based on technical analysis. As DAISY, we will have much more feedback to make additional decisions. And you can see at each point, how can you improve it? And again, the story comes into place even stronger when things go wrong, because we were fortunate in this latest period to get the perfect entries and exits. It's not always the case. And then we need DAISY to help us understand what is the strength of the market, what is the expected volatility, and whether we should, for example, even today, exit the trend and say market is done for today, or it's still strong enough and it will go forward. Again, we have our assumption as artificial intelligence for technical analysis. DAISY will help us to enforce the decision, much more informed decisions. Currently, we have on the outside, we have EOS, XLM, Link, and LTC still open trades. These trades already closed. The fact that it's written in red doesn't mean that they were not profitable. They all were profitable trades. And Ether still bears a lot of the value for the portfolio. So this is our story for this week, and I would like to answer the Q&A as we agreed.
Thank you, Dr. Anna. Yes, actually, the questions we put together, maybe we already got some answers during your presentation, maybe during your previous presentations, right? But still, I mean, even if people are here like for second time, I think it's quite a good idea. So I will just read the whole list. So give me 1 sec. And we will get started with questions. Okay, so the first question is, some people say that some members actually started 2-3 days prior to others, but yet have a slightly smaller profits than those who started later on.
Yes,
could you please clarify on this?
Yeah, because initial conversion was not profitable. So initial conversion might be losing 0.5%, 1% to these contributors. So they will experience less results just because of the initial conversion.
Okay, so this issue is simply related to TRX exchange rate.
That's correct. The conversion of the TRX. And again, we are tackling this issue. We'll give an update once it's done, right, Ilya?
Yeah, of course.
About this issue, how not to come back to.
Of course, yes. The second question is a displayed profit on the back office positive equity or actual released profit on closed trades? So this
it's an equity. We are showing open equity. So if it includes both closed position and open positions. So it's our decision because we want to have people to see what's going on at the same exact moment with the portfolio. And we're updating it every hour. Every 12 hours, we're updating the chart of individual contributors. And numbers, we're updating again every hour.
Okay. So next question is related to the previous one. We have always been told that the strategy is a very low frequency strategy, but yet we see the percentages fluctuate multiple times daily. So I believe this is the same reason, right? Because
you can see I showed you the trades. Again, we are in the field with crypto, in the field of tactical investments. So as you saw, we have very few trades for each strategy, for each asset. So we are not, again, once we go to additional markets, there we will have different story, but in current market, we are in tactical investments.
Okay. Next question. Do we use a stop loss in our strategies? And if we use a stop loss, at what drawdown? And the last question on this is, do we use a hard stop loss or trailing stop loss?
Okay. So this is a very important question because in each market, there is a very big decision where to put a stop loss. Intuitively, you can feel that stop loss is important because you don't want to lose during big market fluctuation. But whether to put it in hard way, meaning that you enter and then you put immediately, let's say 1% or 2% or 3% stop loss to protect yourself. In markets like crypto, it's not a good idea, specifically with the big volumes, the big portfolio that we use, tens and hundreds of millions in capital, because first of all, the fact that you put the stop loss on the market and people can see it, they can kind of trade on it, they can kind of abuse it, they can kind of make their own wins, but just by seeing that you put this huge stop loss. And even if you make it synthetic, meaning that you don't put it on the exchange, but you keep it outside and then you trigger it, it's still not the good idea. So what we do instead, we use trailing stops that are soft stops. So it's not a trailing function, it's trailing function based on AI indicators. And once we see that the market is weak and it wants to go back, we use it. But if it's a sharp drop down of the market, we will not join this drop. We're not joining the drop situations. We're thinking, like our system is thinking what to do with it, and probably will exit after a while, or like we're not joining these situations because in most of the cases it will bounce back and you don't want to be the participants in these situations. So again, since we are in tactical investment, even if market goes down and it's emotional very hard to see the loss, you still need to be calm and wait for the system to exit. So again, soft stop loss, more of the trading nature than anything else, and synthetic, we don't put it on the exchange, nobody can see it.
Okay, okay. And can you add something on a drawdown issue, like percentage-wise? Can we say that we have some percentage, like minimum percentage, maximum percentage of drawdown
of the stop loss that we're using?
Yeah. Yes.
Listen, it's a tricky situation because in each specific system, system decides on what is the best. So there is unfortunately situations of a black swan that can happen. Even if you try in different ways to make it optimal, it still can happen. And we experienced this last year in May, that within the 15 minutes, the market dropped about 15-20%. And unfortunately, there is nothing you can do about this because it didn't bounce back, and that was the story. But usually what we're trying to do is from original entry, we have it fairly short, like 2-3% from original entry, and then it trails up. And it's again, I cannot say in each separate situation where it will be, but it trails up together with time based on the market. So I can maybe next time give you the exact numbers for each, not for each system, but for some of the system for you to feel it. But it's quite complicated. It's not the simple answer of the number.
Okay, okay, I understand. So maybe we will be able to see some examples, right, from your side later on. On the last call, incredible call, you explained about amazing entry point for BTC at $33,000. So they ask if this trade is still open or closed already. So
yeah, we showed that it's still open.
Yes,
this one is still open, and we are waiting for the end of the story for this trade. And again, while I really hope for this trade to have amazing exit, it's not that important whether it will be, very successful trade or it will end up in losing 20-30% of the ideal exit. Again, it's about the long term. So let's hope for it that it will get the good exit. But again, it's not in our hands.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. The next question is about the system that reflects all of open trades. So they ask if there will be such a system so that they can see what trades are open,
okay.
Right? Yeah. Because initially, before we launched Daisy, right? So we mentioned that we might have such a system. So do you see this system?
Yeah, I wanted to touch on this point and to explain a certain fact is while we're still small as a Daisy, and 25 million is definitely a small number, we can show everything. It's not a big deal to show everything. Once we grow beyond 100 and 200 millions, it's very dangerous for us to have this information open because, again, the competitors and other traders might trade off this. If they know that we have open trade and market goes this way or that way, they can back engineer of what we do, maybe not exactly, but still they can use this information. And you heard this big story of GameStop, right? That the certain information gives other players information of what they can do based on this. So again, while we're small, we might show you, and we will probably plan next week to show some of the information from our back office of our positions and numbers. But in long term, it's very dangerous for us as a testing account to show this information to the public. So we will do the short pieces of it, and we will show the parts of it, but not the full one.
Yes, absolutely. The next question is not actually a question, but they remind that it's important for the field, for all the members to anticipate that there are going to be losses, right? Because we started the way we started. Now we see some amazing results, right, in the system. So maybe you can elaborate on this. I mean, I know we keep talking about this all the time, right? So whatever we see right now, if you see some pluses, some amazing results right now, it doesn't mean that next month or next couple months or next week it's going to be positive, right? Because I mean, we are
like traders, they have inside jokes of saying that you never should tap yourself on the shoulder and say you're an amazing trader, because otherwise the market will show you how stupid you are. So this is the same. We are not yet in the Daisy shoes where we have additional information from all the markets and we have additional information about that will increase our probability. We still technical analysis folks that doing it in smart way with artificial intelligence. So we might experience losses, we might experience black swans and things like that. Also, what happens is that once we relaunch Daisy Fund, what will happen is that the new guys will not have the profits that the old team experienced. So they will start from zero. And then even that the whole fund will be considered profitable, right? It will be considered profitable from the percentage point of view. It might be losing from the money point of view, from the dollar point of view. So again, we need to be very calm about the result and not to expect, basically not to expect anything and just rely on the system. And next, specifically after the very good period, you might have 2 or 3 months of the choppy markets or the drop down market that doesn't know what trend to take and so on. So again, there is no promises on our side.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And the last question, and this is a question actually, this is a very nice question that we hear from few leaders. Because currently people cannot withdraw. They see some results, right? They want to withdraw their rewards, but they cannot do it due to our, let's say, maintenance currently taking place, right? So they're not able to push the button to withdraw. So what they ask is, in the future, right? Once we reopen, will they be able to withdraw anytime? Because they understand that some of the funds actually are sitting in open positions, right? So some of the funds, they might be already in closed positions. So will they be able to withdraw at any time, whenever they want, in the morning, nighttime, just log in and push the button withdraw? Or there will be some specific period of time for them to withdraw?
Yeah, again, excellent question, because this is the kind of open question for us as well. What we have is we have specific capital, quite a nice capital that is still lying in the buffer that you can withdraw from. So even right now we have more than 5 million in capital that you can withdraw from. But once we go to the bigger numbers and we go to the bigger profits, of course, the capital that we store aside might be not enough to withdraw the full profit for all the contributors. So what we will do is we will announce the periods where you can withdraw freely, like will be no issue, and then we will ask for the community to wait during the periods when we are in the trends, because we don't want community to affect our trading. We don't want to be forced to stop the trades or to exit earlier just because we need to withdraw profits. Like, we don't want your decision on whether you think it's enough for you. So what we will do is we will again announce the fully green light withdrawal periods, and then it will be yellow light where you can withdraw. But if we say that we don't have enough capital, we will ask you to wait, and then we will carefully see where there is available capital still, and then we will rebalance. So it might be day or 2 or 3 waiting period during these yellow periods, and then it will be reopened again.
Awesome. I like this idea of green and yellow.
Yeah. Hopefully we will not get to red ones ever.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much. I think this is it for the major questions on the product side that people ask. So I believe you clarified many issues, and now most of the people understand how the trading is working, right? So next week, if you can show us a little bit more of some insights, right, on the trading
and
side.
Specifically, I would like to take on ourselves to start with Daisy. We will show you some Daisy stories. We will show you a white paper next week. We will start show you the Daisy itself, because this is the most exciting reason why we are together, the Daisy story. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So next week we will maybe even do some short parts of the white paper. We will start explaining it, start explaining what we're doing, and that will be again exciting.